This was the perfect trailer for this movie, the perfect teaser to introduce this movie that's coming in December. What's up, Alfonso Nation? It's Alfonso Peterman here, and welcome to another episode of Rise of Bumblebee. This is episode number 9, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the Bumblebee movie trailer, and we're going to break it down scene by scene. Before we get started, I do just want to say that I am so glad that I'm back making videos. I really was almost losing it, not being able to make a video. I just didn't know what to do. I'm just so used to doing this, and so I'm so glad I'm back doing it. The battery seems to be working very well with the camera. Seems to be what actually was the problem, so I'm glad the problem was solved and I can get back to making videos. So yeah, the Bumblebee trailer came out and everybody's talking about it. Everybody's putting screenshots of it on social media. Everybody's putting little, short videos of it all over social media, and I want to break it down and go scene by scene and basically talk about all the different things that was shown in the trailer. I know a lot of you guys have already probably seen it 40 times, but I want to break it down because I want to show you guys some really cool things that I thought was interesting in the trailer. Before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Jason Burrows with the Alfonso Nation. He's also a moderator of the Alfonso Nation Facebook page, and Jason just recently graduated from high school, which is an amazing accomplishment. So proud of you, man. Congratulations to Jason Burrows for graduating high school. You just accomplished a major milestone in your life, and I'm very, very happy for you. And also all the other guys who went through finals. I know Bumblebot 2000 told me that he was going through finals, and he finally got through it. So all of you guys who went through some very tough end of the year experiences with education, trust me, I know what it's like, and I'm proud of you for going through that. Anyway, let's get into the trailer, because I mean there's so much in this that I'm just so ready to talk about. So of course, when the trailer starts, it's this little interesting countdown thing with you got the 3, and then you got Charlie 2, and then it goes 1, and then you get to see Bumblebee's eyes light up, and then you see the title sequence. It says official trailer, which is pretty cool. I love the title sequence. The beginning shot is, of course, a silhouette of Bumblebee in the forest. You can see him from the back, and he's kind of looking down, and I think this is probably a scene where he's almost finished from running around in the forest, which is what you're going to see later in the trailer. He may be taking a break, or maybe this might be before this chase that happens in the forest. It could be before or after. I'm thinking after. Maybe he's taking a rest. Maybe he's finally safe, or whatever was happening in the forest is finally over. And so that's what you're seeing there. Pretty interesting scene. And then you see the Paramount logo, the classic Paramount logo. Not really classic, but it's the the current Paramount logo. And then you just get the shot of Charlie overlooking the, I'm assuming it's the Pacific Ocean, since they're in California. She might be overlooking either the ocean on the beach, or it could be a lake that she's overlooking. But this looks like it's part of the build-up in the movie. Whenever you're watching the movie and you get to experience their life and they're doing whatever they're doing in their lives, and then there's a turning point, almost like with Kate Yeager and Tessa. You get to see how they were just, he was an inventor, she was just a typical teenage girl. You get to see their lives, and then whenever Optimus Prime showed up in the garage, that was the game changer. So this might be an example of just the everyday life stuff, but it's a beautiful shot nonetheless. She's overlooking the sunrise, which is pretty cool. And then you get a shot of her riding a bicycle. And then it switches into some type of scene where she's opening maybe a tarp. She's pulling off a tarp off of the car. And then later on, you get to see what the car actually looks like. It's Bumblebee. And I thought this was pretty cool. He's been sitting there for so long in that little junkyard that an actual beehive kind of formulated. And there's bees in Bumblebee. I thought that was just perfect little hints here and there on who this car actually is. Then she takes a look inside of the car. She's like, what? This is a sweet ride. She's taking a look at it, and you get the scene of her driving, and she's driving home and so she actually takes the car home from the junkyard. So she probably just needed a car to get around, and maybe that was the one she found. It was cheap, and you get the audio of Uncle Bobby B. I mean, I was like, yes! I am so glad they added Uncle Bobby B's audio into this trailer. And I just thought that was just a beautiful tribute to Uncle Bobby B, you know, from 2007 and all of his contributions to the franchise. I thought that was just perfect, man. I was like, that's actually very heartwarming just to hear his voice again, to know that he contributed, and just all this R.I.P. Bernie Mac, man. And so, yeah, he says, you know, let me tell you something, son. The driver don't pick the car picked the driver, which is the same situation with Sam Witwicky and Bumblebee inside of the car dealership. It's the same situation with Charlie and Bumblebee in this junkyard situation, wherever they're at. That location, when she picked the car, it wasn't really her picking the car, it was Bumblebee picking her. It's what the trailer was trying to insinuate. And he goes, there's a mythical bond between man and machine, and it was wonderful. So then she gets into her garage, and then there's this amazing shot with the Volkswagen inside of the garage, and there she is, just like hanging out, taking a look at things. And then, you know, the classic radio thing happens, and then, you know, Bumblebee activates the radio. She's like, what? What is that? And so she's like slowly approaching it. She's like, what is going on? And you know, something about this scene tells me that she might almost kind of know what's going on. She may not know it's a transformer, but she's like, something's up with this car, because you see her put her hand on, you know, the hood of the car. She's like, what's going on? And so she was so intrigued that she begins to investigate the car. Maybe it might be a malfunction, or whatever the case. Something triggered Charlie to go under the car, and so she slides under it. She uses her little flashlight. She's looking around, and this was just great. So she's pointing the flashlight, and then she finds the face of Bumblebee hidden underneath the car, as he is transformed, and I was like, what? And for a while, it kind of sat there, just on his face, and I knew it. I was like, oh man, it's about to light up. Those eyes are about to light up. And sure enough, those eyes freaking lit up, and the sound effects of the transformation when he transforms in the garage, and she's looking at him like, oh, what is that? What is happening? She is so like, just like starstruck by what's going on. I mean, I can imagine, you know, just like, my car makes a noise, I go under it, and then a light turns on under the car, and then it just starts like contorting. I would freak out, honestly. So she actually handled this pretty well. And so, perfect transformation scene. I love the mechanical transformations. It reminds me of 2007 when Optimus Prime drove up to Sam Witwicky, and he did that amazing in-your-face transformation. You get to see the parts move. It was more mechanical than than just like, you know, slick. You know, the Age of Extinction transformations, you know, Optimus Prime was just like sliding his way up, and then he would transform. In the first movie, he was like, you know, very stiff, very robotic transformation, and that is actually back in this prequel. And anyway, so you see Charlie, she's looking up, she's like, what? And Bumblebee stands up inside of the garage, and then you get this interesting scene where she's like just staring at him like, what are you? What in the heck? What is this? What's going on? And Bumblebee almost has the same reaction. He's like, what are you? Are you a human? I'm not okay with that. And he's just like crouching in a corner, and you see him, either he's scared or he's shy. He doesn't really know how to approach her. He doesn't know what to do. He can't really communicate with her. He can't talk. And so he's just like looking, and then you see him put his arm over his face like, oh my god. I know, Shady, it's crazy. Like, how could you be scared if you're like a freaking tall robot? But I was like, wow. And so she's like, you know, who are you, or what are you? And he's just looking at her, and she's like, do you speak? And that's where he's like, he shakes and says no. So that's her confirmation. No voice in this movie, which makes sense, because, you know, why would his voice work and then, you know, it would have to explain why it would stop working. So it would have to be destroyed in this movie and it would be a whole lot, you know. So I'm glad his voice is not there. I'm interested on how the dialogue is going to be in this film with no voice from Bumblebee. And so he just looks around, and his face is so, like, adorable. He looks like a puppy, like a little dog, like a little cat, like a little, he's just like, and his bottom jaw, like, comes all the way up to his like, nose. And he's just, like, just so adorable. And she's, you know, trying to approach him in a very soft manner. And she's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. It's okay, whoever you are. You know, it's a very, you know, soft moment. You know, unlike the introduction of Optimus Prime and Cade, he was like, I'll kill you! Stay back! Optimus Prime was not having it. In this film, Bumblebee is going to be more, you know, soft and, like, just kind of keeping his distance, and Charlie has to inch her way into the engagement. And so you see her, you know, she inches her hand close, and he's starting to trust her more, and then her hand touches his face, and then he closes his eyes, and then she's like, what's your name? And he opens his eyes, and that's when it starts. That's when the real, like, you know, sequence of action starts, and I was like, wow, perfectly done. I love that. If you look at my reaction, I was like my heart is just so heartwarming and touching and emotional. I love that. I love how the movie is going to focus a lot on that. It's going to bring heart and emotion back to the franchise. And then you see this Christmas, and then you see Bumblebee running in the forest, and you see the bullets. Some bullets hit his back arm, the back part of his arm. And I'm assuming this is a chase scene, probably the same scene that's involved with the very first scene we saw when he was sitting down in the forest. This could be a scene where we see either the Sector 7 soldiers shooting at him, thinking that he's a threat, thinking that something's wrong. Sector 7 might not know who he is, so they might see him as a threat. Or this could be Starscream shooting at him from the sky, because in the later scene you're going to see Starscream. He's flying, but under him is the forest. So Starscream could be chasing Bumblebee. There's a lot that's going on, but it's got to be one or the other, because you know, there's bullet holes. So somebody's shooting at him. He's not just running to or from something. He's being attacked. So Bumblebee's under attack there in that scene, and it says every adventure. Then you got Charlie and the other guy. I'm not sure who that is, but they are just like having the time of their lives. She's standing up in the driver's seat. He's standing up in the passenger seat. Their arms are in the air. Bumblebee is rolling. It is gonna be like a very, very happy scene whenever they discover that he's a Transformer. He can drive on his own. So they're just like, hey, YOLO! And they just throw their hands in the air and they're having fun. So I think this is also going to be kind of towards the middle of the movie, after she discovers him and starts to engage a life with him. Then that's whenever she's going to be more comfortable driving with him and being in public with him with other people. And so that's going to happen. And then you see a really nice shot of her just diving into the water, and it looks like she's by a dock of some sort. Maybe you know, there's like a freight ship nearby, and there's a dock, and she's jumping either off of the land or off of the boat. Something's happening there, because she's jumping down, and Bumblebee is underwater, and she approaches him underwater. So this could be a scene where maybe like at the end of the movie, whenever Bumblebee's fighting somebody, and maybe he gets knocked back and he's knocked into the water, and she probably thinks that he might have died or he might have been badly injured. So just because of the connection that they have, she just reacts and she jumps into the water to try to see if he's okay, if he's still alive, to try to coach him into being coherent, you know. So this could possibly be where Bumblebee experiences some type of intense injury or near-death experience, because for her to jump in there just to go see him, something's up with that. So there's that, and then it says has a beginning. So every adventure has a beginning, which is the slogan that is kind of a play on The Last Night, which is every legend hides a secret. Well, now we have every adventure has a beginning. So it's kind of a play on words. It's kind of similar to what we had already. Then we got a shot of Charlie and Bumblebee. They're on the beach, and Bumblebee just like... And she's like totally comfortable with him transforming now. There's no like, you know, body reaction. She's not like jumping or flinching. She's just like, yo, what's up? And he transforms and he leans down at her. This could be a scene where, this could actually probably be after the scene this could be the scene after which you're fixing to see next, because I think these scenes are all over the place. But this scene could be where he probably finally gets her safe, and then he transforms after getting her to a safe location. And this next scene is what I'm talking about. So you see Agent Burns, John Cena, I'm assuming that's who that is. It looks like him. And it's definitely Sector 7, and you got a guy in the back with the gun pointing at Bumblebee and Charlie, so they probably see Bumblebee as a threat, and Charlie is probably trying to be like, whoa guys, relax, he's not what you think. And Bumblebee is probably saying, man, they're probably going to start shooting. Let me get you out of here. So Bumblebee just like grabs Charlie and takes off running. And so the scene that you saw previously when he's transformed in the beach, that could be after he escaped Sector 7's surveillance. And he's like, hey, you're safe now. You know, that could be one of those scenes. Just speculation, not really sure. And then it changes into that really nice, solid scene with Agent Burns, and you got the Sector 7 team behind him, and he's looking at something, and it looks like he's also on the beach. I see telecommunication towers behind him. It looks like there's sand, and I think that's water behind them, or maybe that's like a sand dunes. So they might be in the desert somewhere. So this could be where they either see a Decepticon, they see a threat, or maybe they're looking at the main thing that they're going to be, that the Bumblebee and the Decepticons are going to be fighting over. Something's happening here that they're just like peeled on, and they have their guns pointed. So it's either a threat, maybe a Decepticon. I hope it's not another negotiation scene. Please don't negotiate with Starscream. I hope they don't negotiate with Starscream, because it kind of makes me think they will, being the fact that you see Bumblebee jumping down with his new battle mode, and then you got Starscream. So I hope there's no more negotiations. I hope they don't try to get Starscream to go after Bumblebee for any reason. But anyways, you see Bumblebee jump down, and he's got a new mode now. He's fully battle mode, okay? So you're going to see two sides of Bumblebee in this movie. You're going to see the nice, heartwarming, lighthearted, hey, how you doing? My name is Bumblebee. Oh, wait, I can't talk. You're gonna see the cute, adorable, soft Bumblebee, and then whenever shit hits the fan, you're gonna see the Bumblebee that we like to see fighting, and he's gonna be in this, it looks like he's in a Jeep mode. He actually does look like he's gonna be a Jeep, and I love his battle mask. So there he is, he jumps down. So maybe he, I'm not sure if this is after he fights Sector 7, or after he is hiding himself. Maybe he reveals himself to Sector 7 by jumping out of nowhere. It could be many, many things. So there's that, and then you get the iconic scene that everybody's talking about, that's all over social media. You get Lord Starscream. I was amazed that this shot was in the trailer. I was shocked to see this. I was not ready for this. No one was. I love how Starscream looks. His robot mode, his alt mode, his paint job, his face sculpt, his eyes are so menacing. He looks like a ruthless Decepticon, and I love how he transformed in midair and he kept going. You know, usually when you see Starscream, he's flying, he transforms, and then he lands. This guy is flying, he transforms, and he's still flying. He's probably using the jet exhaust from his back, as you see on his wings on his back. That's so cool. And I guess this is probably where you see him fight Bumblebee, maybe where he starts to approach Bumblebee in the forest, where, you know, maybe he was shooting at him, but Bumblebee was running, so maybe, you know what, it's time to go hands-on. So that's when he transforms to try to maybe launch at Bumblebee or something like that. Or maybe he's just showing off, you know, Starscream could just be showing off, but I love the way he looks. Wow, man, I'm so glad that he's back. You know, I mean, there are chances that this is another Decepticon, but I like to believe this is Starscream. This is Starscream. This is Starscream. And then you see Charlie, she's looking up, and then Bumblebee is driving, and then he's stopping himself, or either he's trying to turn, so he transforms his arm out. So we get another scene with him transforming, and his arm transforming out while he's driving, like in the last night. That was a pretty cool scene when he shot Barricade. And so we kind of get that again whenever he starts to drive on this rocky platform. at night, and then he just tries to either stop himself or turn. I'm probably gonna think that maybe he's just trying to turn, so he's grabbing the ground to get leverage to turn, because I don't know why he would be trying to stop himself. He can control the car. He is the car. So usually you just stop, you know, so something's going on there. Maybe he's trying to grab onto something to save something. Not really sure, but that's what we see, and that's a pretty interesting scene. And then it transitions into this nice, heartwarming moment where he is hugging Charlie. Another emotional, heartfelt scene where he's hugging Charlie. She looks like she's crying. I really hope this is not like, oh my god, you know, goodbye. It looks like a, you know, like a farewell scene. Like, you know, Bumblebee, you've been here for so long. It's time to say farewell. Anyway, and so it transitions into another scene where you have Charlie saying, you got people out there who need you, and there's bruises on her face, so you can tell this is towards the end, right? And you got the Golden Gate Bridge behind her. You can tell this is probably towards the end, after like the final battle, after everything's said and done. She's got her scars, and she's crying, so this might be where she's like, Bumblebee, you got people out there who need you. You can't be with me anymore. She might be bidding a farewell to Bumblebee in this scene. And oh god. Please don't be a sad scene. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like tears dropping in the theaters when this movie comes out. It's gonna be a lot of heartfelt, emotional stuff. And so prepare for that going into it. So you got the Golden Gate Bridge, which I hope we get a shot of Bumblebee driving on the Golden Gate Bridge. That would just seal it. That would seal the deal for me. And so she's crying and she's saying farewell, and then you got that shot. I was like, yes, where he puts his battle mask on. Now, you guys know I have a history of freaking out when I see battle masks. There's just something about the sound effect and just the cling. It's just something about that really gets me. Like when Optimus Prime did it in Age of Extinction, when I saw Megatron do it in the trailer for The Last Knight, and now Bumblebee's doing it for Transformers Bumblebee. This is amazing scene. I love the way he looks. And if you look closely in his battle mask, if you look at his eyes in his battle mask, you actually can see little like hexagons that looks like a honeycomb, like a bee's honeycomb. And that he looks like an actual, like the bug, like the organic Bumblebee. He looks like a bee with that battle mask on, and that is probably one of my favorite battle mask transformations that I've ever seen with Bee. The only time I remember seeing Bumblebee with a battle mask was Age of Extinction, and that's where it was like a full face transform. But I like this. I like this a lot more. More mechanical. Love the sound effects. Love what he looks like. I love the eyes. I just could stare at those eyes with those little hexagons in there. So awesome. And then you got a scene of it's an attack chopper who probably lost control. Looks like they were shot down, I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks like somebody shot them because there's so much damage at the core of the aircraft. And it looks like, you know, somebody shot him. It could have been Starscream, who knows. But Bumblebee is saving them. Bumblebee runs to the rescue and catches them so they don't crash so hard. And then you see him trying his best to hold it so that it doesn't, you know, hit something. Maybe they might be hitting a building. Maybe the chopper might be headed for the water. Something. But Bumblebee is like really, really trying to get it to stop so he can save those that are inside. And then you got one of the final sequences of the action, and then you see Bumblebee with his like Jeep, and he's like, yeah. I was like, yes, yes. Just looking at him from the ground up, that's a beautiful shot of Bumblebee. I love that shot with his battle mask. That is a wallpaper that I'm going to be using in the near future. I'm going to render that in 4K and make that a wallpaper. And then you got the audio of Charlie saying, "This is why you're here, B." And you got a bunch of wreckage all around him. So this could be after maybe he saved a lot of lives, or maybe after he destroyed some Decepticons. She's like, see, this is why you're here. You are here for this. This is what you're destined to do, to defend us and protect us. And so I love that. Oh, I love that shot so much. And it transitions, and you see the Bumblebee sign. the title, and then you got the little funny scene at the end. You got to have a funny scene to kind of like ease off the the chaos that you just saw. And so you see Charlie put the cassette inside of Bumblebee's inside of his cassette player, and she's saying this is how you can probably help with your communication, because you can't talk. It's through music. It can help you communicate what you're feeling. And so it plays. He gets rickrolled, and he's like, no thank you. So he shoots it out, and it just hits the wall so hard. Oh my god, like that was like a bullet. And she ducked it just in time, because man, that would have hit her really hard. So, and she just comes up like, well, sorry. And then that was the funny scene. Christmas in theaters in real D and 3D. Guys, that is the breakdown of the trailer. Oh my goodness gracious. This was the perfect trailer for this movie. The perfect teaser to introduce this movie that's coming in December. I am so glad that this was released at the time that it was. We've all wanted this trailer so bad, and I'm glad that it came out at the time, and it did, because it kind of brought excitement. So now everybody's highly anticipating this movie because of this teaser. So a major thanks to Travis Knight and all the post-production guys that worked on creating this trailer. Y'all did a fantastic job. I was amazed. I love it. I am so proud of this franchise and where it's going. And I really, really want to say this before I end the the video, because this has already been a long video. I want to say this, and I want to make this known. I really do think that this movie is going to be a game changer. It's going to be a major game changer for the franchise. I think we have experienced what I would probably say is a major downfall, a drawback, a setback in terms of revenue and box office results worldwide in terms of The Last Night. I think a lot of people who did not like this franchise and where it was going and where Michael Bay was taking it with his vision, a lot of those people are going to be like, wow, you know what? This is a pretty good movie. I really think that this movie is going to be the game changer. It's going to be the movie that causes the transition between the Bayverse and whatever the future of this franchise is. I think it's going to restore faith in a lot of fans. I think that a lot of people who hated this franchise is going to start, well, you know what, this is actually pretty good. Let me give it another shot. And I think that is going to set the stage for any other prequels they want to do, or any other movies that they want to do to continue a new story, or even create a new story to reboot it. I know that they didn't finish the story of The Last Night, and that's kind of what a lot of people wanted. They wanted to finish the story with Quintessa and Unicron, but because they didn't, and they kind of went back in time instead of going forward chronologically, I think that this might be a good way to seal the story of Michael Bay, the Bayverse. It might be a good way to seal it by, going back in time and kind of giving you a nostalgic movie while also telling the story that happened before 2007. So I really, really think that this is going to be a game changer. A lot of G1 fans, a lot of young fans, old fans, pretty much every Transformers fan should hopefully take or find some value in this movie. And I am so glad that this movie is coming out. I'm so excited for it. My expectations for this movie has not changed, but my excitement has. I will be honest, I was not really all that excited for the movie. It just didn't feel the same now that Michael Bay was gone, because Michael Bay's films is what made me a fan. So it didn't feel like that same feeling that I got when I first saw the first Transformers movie. But now that this trailer's out, and now that people has gotten a really, really good taste, a good preview of what we're fixing to get into, I think it's really going to be a game changer. It's going to resuscitate, that's the word I'm just trying to look for. It's going to resuscitate the energy and the passion of the fans that may have been lost in the past. It's going to restore and resuscitate the franchise. and I'm so excited for it. So anyways, guys, that's all for today. That is my breakdown of Transformers Bumblebee, the trailer, the teaser trailer. I hope you guys like it. If you did, drop a like on it. I loved it. If you haven't seen my reaction, or if you want to watch a collab, a mashup, I made a mashup with a bunch of Transformers fans that are committed to this franchise, and you can watch that on the channel, or you can watch my individual reaction, whichever you want. Those links are in the description box below. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm so glad I'm making videos again. It feels so good to just be doing this again. My name is Alfonso Peterman, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.